Good morning, Nina. Apparently so. He's been around me all morning. He's been like lounging out on my clothes and he's been lounging out on my arm. He landed in my hair one time. He's just relaxing and chilling. We don't get the opportunity to do this very much, so I thought I'd go live and show you guys firsthand how majestic and beautiful they are. Each one is unique and different. Each one has different colors, even though they may even be the same species. Their colors are still different. And this one is just vibrant orange, and he's got some blue on his wings, and just absolutely gorgeous piece of nature this morning. Close up, he's just chilling out. He's just like, I'm laid out right now. I'm good. He's been right there for quite some time. Hadn't been wanting to make too many sudden moves. I don't want him to like fly away, but I just wanted to share this with you guys. It's very rare to get. Oh, he flew away. See, there he is, right there. And thing is he'll let me get him. Let me show y'all. Yeah, maybe so. Hold on a second, y'all. I'm gonna see if I can get him back down. Nope, he flew that time. He'll be back. Yeah, it was strange. okay, let me turn y'all around so y'all can see. I'll stay live a minute. Um, looking rough, y'all, but I'm here. Looking rough, but I'm here. Uh, so I got a call from my dad this morning, y'all. He's going to the emergency room. He's really sick. Um, there's good moments and there's bad moments. Hold on a second, y'all. Trying to catch the wildlife this morning, but it ain't working. Um, no, Deuce and I are speaking better than we have been, and the tension's been so thick around here that it's just it's a day by day thing. And we have sat down and talked about, what's to come after this and stuff like that. And from what I can see, both of us are very much wanting to try to, I won't say mend the fence, but get to a point where we can have some peace and be back together. So I got some things I got to take care of. I've got to get some things done that's really impacting me just personally at this point, and can turn around and then impact Deuce. But it's just Deuce is, I've never seen him so upset and paranoid and like up and watching everything and walking around the house with very little to no sleep. And he's literally, well, he's not sleeping. And this is like the third or fourth night. And we're literally taking shifts because things have gotten so bad with the kids that we just don't trust them at all. So one of us has got their eye on them at all times. And if I'm asleep, Deuce is up, and if I'm up, Deuce is asleep. So we're literally doing it in shifts until I can get back to Dad's and start working on these kids. So it's a very it's very heartbreaking for me, but at the same time, the more me and Deuce talk, the more we work things out, and we're having to do it, like in small increments because we've just got so much shit we're dealing with. It's crazy. I mean, just crazy. But and even still in the last live stream, we still didn't tell everybody everything. You know what I mean? And so my dad was actually sitting listening to the live, and he was like, "Well," he was like, "I had no idea that you guys were going through what y'all were going through to that extent, and this, that, and the other." And when you've got a child that can't quite be trusted, not only one but two, I'm trying to get y'all where I can put y'all in a pedestal. Hold on. Y'all just hold on. I'm fixing to put you in the stand. All right, so um oh, this damn thing's been a pain in my ass this morning. There we go. There we go. There we go. Got y'all situated. All right. Good morning. All right, let me flip y'all around one more time. There's a rockin' Robin hanging out. I was trying to show him to y'all, but he's a little camera shy this morning, I guess. All right, there we go. Good morning, Charlene. You missed the very beginning. I was showing everybody the butterfly. You guys will have to go back to the very beginning and y'all can see the butterfly. It was on my finger. We were just sitting out here chilling. Nina was the only one that got in here quick enough to see it, I think. But I just put a short on. I've never seen a butterfly land on me like that and just stay. So I was like, that's pretty cool. Never seen one land on me like that and stay. Good morning, musings. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I sent you a link to your messages too because it was just unreal. But yeah, I was telling Nina, Deuce and I are speaking finally, and we're having to watch over the kids in shifts. Um, it's a absolute the incident that we had a couple of days ago. Literally, absolutely severed a lot of relationships with the kids. Good morning, Lynn. I'm gonna go get my other I've got to go get the stool so that I can move you guys to where I can see the chat. Y'all hold on a second. All right, guys, I'm back. I'm fixing to get my stand set up where I can actually read the chat. Y'all hang on a minute, okay? Hang on a minute. Y'all all lopsided. Put on your helmets. I'm gonna bump y'all around a little bit. There we go. Now I can see. All right, and y'all can see the flag. That's good. Okay, so yeah, each day is getting easier. In the first day, first couple of days, I wasn't sure where Deuce and I stood. And so that really messed it up for me because I felt like I not only had to just lost my kids, but I'd literally just lost him too. So, and now my dad is sick, y'all, and he's really sick. He's going to the emergency room this morning. So y'all please pray for my daddy. My mom's sick too, though. Everybody's sick based on what I'm hearing. So right now with this going on with me, this isn't a good time for him to be in the hospital, but, I appreciate each and every one of y'all that was in the auction and that supported Aruba's channel also by going in there and doing what you guys had to do to help us. Deuce did calm down just a little bit to give me a little bit more wiggle room, especially everything going with Dad. I don't know how much, but we've got some paperwork and stuff coming to the house that I've got to deal with that has to do with our money situation and this, that, and the other. I'm trying to get a credit back for something that got gone, that went haywire and wrong. So, and you know, it only takes about 5 seconds for them to like hack into your account, but it takes almost 45 to 90 days for them to put the money back onto your account. I've never understood that process and why it has to be so long. And then you've got a process of, oh, well, let's us actually prove that your money went missing and that there's a viable shit. There's a viable reason. There's a viable reason that you guys have been shorted or you were hacked or whatever. You know, that's the way they look at it. But we're going to have to dadgummit make sure that you haven't done nothing and that you didn't do it and you're trying to be reimbursed for something that you actually paid for and all this garbage. And then it doesn't take that long. I mean, they can see on their computer what the charges were for, what time they were made, even down to the fact that they gonna call me and tell me that one of mine was for Apple. I absolutely do not do Apple anything. I don't want an Apple phone. I don't want an Apple product. I'm not gonna buy anything from Apple. I'm not gonna play with iTunes. None of that. I just don't deal with it. I'd rather listen to music on YouTube and deal with the ads than deal with the Apple product of any kind. And so when they told me that there was Apple charges on my card, I was like, well, you better daggum contest it because I guarantee you I won't do nothing with Apple. Ever. Bill Gates can take his multi-million-dollar company and everybody that's associated with it and shove it right up his butt. Gates, that man's wicked, I'm telling you. That man's the one that's trying to take over the world, y'all. With his crazy ass. So, yeah, we're trying to get home. I'm still trying to work on home, but right now I'm having to pace myself just a little bit. I've got some stuff I got to take care of before I leave here. And for all of those that's just come in the stream, if you will back to the very beginning when Nina first pops in, I've got a butterfly literally on my hand in the live stream. And it's the most beautiful thing. So if y'all want to see something pretty close up, back it up to the beginning, you'll see the butterfly. The same butterfly I put in the short while ago. But he's been my buddy this morning. He's been hanging out with me. And he'll go from the brick beside me all the way to here. Okay, well, whoever the guy is that's in charge of Apple, I think they're all interlinked, honestly. I think it's just, yeah, thank you. I think it was just one of them situations where you got multiple hens to operate the same hen house. You know what I mean? And because it's all like merged, all of it. YouTube is connected to Google and all this other crap, and it's almost like somebody sat down and see that crazy ass Bill Gates is the only one that I know of that's smart enough and stupid enough at the same time to make all this shit. You know, diabolical mind that he has. So, but yeah, I'm doing better. Slowly but surely, we're working it out. It's when it all first happened, everything was so raw and so fresh, and we were all hurting, and everybody was angry, and well, me and him were angry. I was furious with the kids, still am. And what is so ironic is last night we had an incident here at the house where I can't remember what it was exactly that happened. All I know is that Deuce raised his voice because of something, and when he did, um, he came out the door and he slammed the door a little bit, and of course Aiden thought that me and him were on outs, and he walked back inside and he looked at Aiden. He was laying on the couch grinning like a jackass eating briars. And then Deuce went off again. He's like, have you ever thought about your poor mama and everything that she's having to go through right now because of the decisions that you and your brother have just made? You know, and what really scares me is that you can say this to these two boys and they just look at you like, what are you saying? What's your point? Um, what do you mean that everything's my fault? Or what do you mean I've done something to deliberately attack y'all? I mean, what do you mean looking all angelic and shit? Knowing damn well they complacent, and they have been like, it's like I told Deuce, I said, hell, we ain't even been able to spend no time or even try to worry about getting like any quality time together for so long because of the kids. And you know, people say that children are a blessing, and they usually are, but there are times when kids can be, I hate to use the term curse, but that's the only thing that I can come up with that's close. I'm not saying that I don't love my kids. Again, I love them. That's what makes it hurt so bad. But on the flip side of that, they're getting up in age and they're starting to become teenagers. And I've got one that's already a teenager that thinks he knows every damn thing. You know, this kid thinks he knows everything. And even if you have a little bit of education, which I have, and I graduated from high school and I graduated from college, and I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, how do you think you can outsmart me? But the things that they have managed to do to me and Deuce that we didn't know about is just like absolutely staggering. And I mean, the night after all the crap happened with Deuce and me and the kids, Aiden's literally breaking in my room trying to steal ginger ales out of my daggum Coke box. I'm just like, what the hell? You know, because they know if they ask, they're going to be told no because of their nasty behavior and stuff. I told them they asked me, Aiden come up to me yesterday morning. He said, Mom, he's like, when you go to the store, will you buy me some cereal? I'm like, I'm done buying cereal. I said, you going to have oatmeal. You going to have toast. You going to have anything you can slide in the microwave and heat up for breakfast. I said, I'm not doing the cereal and milk thing. I said, you guys have forgotten that y'all are grateful kids at all. Instead, all you've tried to do is just hurt, hurt, hurt. I said, but you want me to keep loving, 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 and there's limits to that. I mean, you can love your kids all day long, but you don't like them most of the time. And I know exactly how that goes. And me and Nina, we talk a lot because Nina has got a child or had a child that was identical to Chris mentality-wise. And she knows all the shit that I'm saying is true because she's been there. And it is amazing to how much this young lady has been able to comfort me in the last couple of days, because she's one of the few that actually understands what it's like to have a child that just is like, when it comes to caring and the empathy and, you know, everything that would make you feel bad after you do some shit. My child doesn't seem to possess it. I don't think he's ever had it. It's been something I've said repeatedly over the years is, how do you reach a child that flatlines on all emotion? You know, how do you reach a child that flatlines on serotonin in their brain? that makes him happy. Instead, he seems to be shifted always in a dark place that I can't reach him. So he stays in a dark place, he stays in a dark place. His thoughts are dark. His mannerism is dark. The things that comes out of his mouth is dark. The comments that he says, it would shock you if you could hear just some of the things he says around the house. And it's just like I told Deuce and the chat. I believe all of this was set into motion before me and the kids ever left Georgia to come and be with Deuce. So for them to have it just a downright daggum attack is all it was. So I think a lot of that too was all the vaccines and shit they're shooting up in the kids. All the grooming and crap they're doing in the schools. They've completely broke down our family. They've taken away our right to parent. Now they're trying to pass a law in California that gives the government the ability that if you won't allow your kids to be groomed, that they can take the parent to jail. I mean, how many ways does our family have to be attacked for us to realize that they're trying to break us down? How many times does it take for us to see firsthand what the government's doing to our children and how they've hijacked every agency, everything that can help our kids? Even the church is corrupt. These people wanted to make sure that the mass propaganda brainwashing scheme that they've had going on since Operation Paperclip was so intensely successful that you've got a bunch of kids coming out of school that don't know shit because of the lack of education. And if you don't educate your own children and teach them the difference between what's being taught and what's right, and teach them not only to do that, but teach them the difference, but teach them to stand on it. Because my son came home and he was so upset because he was going to get in trouble at school. I said, don't you worry about getting in trouble at school because of any assignment to do with transgender, because there's two genders. You're either male or female. And that's what populates the world. And that's what they are attacking. It's not that they're attacking our kids per se, but they want our kids to be all, they want the men, the boys to be all girly, and they want the girls to be all manly. And then in the end, you've got a drop in the American population and the population of the world because people aren't having children. So it says, what I don't like about it is that the generation that will be taking care of us, think about it, they absolutely nothing, but they can't even take care of their damn self. My kids can't. And that was one of the major beefs I had with them when they were here. You come in here, you keep this house clean, you don't destroy. So instead, what do? They destroy this man's house. And not only did they destroy his house, but they've destroyed every house I've ever had, which is why I have such a stability issue. Unfortunately, when someone wrongs you in the wrong way as an adult, you can walk away from them. But kids, you can't do that. And a mother to be put in a position where she ever has to consider placing a child in a place where they can age out just so that they can live a normal life. And that's what I'm at now. It's either continue to battle the kids one-on-one, and let them keep wrecking everything and my whole life, or I'm going to have to deal with it and put my foot down. Now, I've got one of them that I can still work with, but the oldest one, he's too far gone. He is the ringleader in what happened here. He is the ringleader in what has happened in this house that has got everybody stressed out. Good morning, Hot Damn. And if you'll go back to the beginning of the feed, you'll see me playing with the butterfly. And it was right on my finger. And when I first started the live stream, it was still there. So if y'all want to see some pretty footage, I also posted a short where he was just chilling out on my hand. So I did a video because that's what I do. So I got a short and I got a live that started with him there. But yeah, just kids don't. But see, you got to consider too, every single video game that's out there in this world right now, even if it has E for everyone or T for teen or whatever, I guarantee you there's something in that video that's going to keep it from being suitable for kids, whether it's them shooting up each other, whether they're stealing cars and running from the police. It doesn't matter what it is. Every single thing that is depicted in our society depicts a society that has become zombified, and they become zombified. And even if you look at the movies and the games, that's all you see is man versus zombie, man versus zombie, man versus government, man versus parents, man versus husband, kids, all that shit. You know, it's not meant to like keep the fundamentals of your family together. It's meant to tear your family down. And it's meant to get in the heads of the kids and just like consume them. And my kids like that. I mean, if he has a chance to build, let's say he's got Legos in the middle of the floor, instead of doing what he wants to do in like normal kids and building towers and houses and all these things he could be building, this joker is building guns and grenades and dynamite and anything he can do to hurt someone or blow some people up. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. Everything that's around our kids is negative, and even down to the teachers. The teachers are complacent in this too. And they're brainwashed because they were the generation beforehand, you know? And so it's like if I sit back and try to really find a patriot in our age group or even younger than our age group, you're going to be hard to find them because the more they don't educate people about their freedoms and their Second Amendment and their Bill of Rights and all of their rights and the Constitution and what it stands for, the fact that we're a republic and not a democracy, and all this bullshit that they spew out. Who might need help? Oh, who? Wait. Hot damn, who you talking about? Good morning, Tracy Robertson, and good morning. You guys hit that like button for me. We got 26 people piled up in here this morning. What a blessing. What you guys doing, my smoking aces? Yeah, well, no, most definitely. It's not that he needs help. It's not that he needs help because, hot damn, I have bent over backwards my entire life that I have raised this child to try to teach him the difference between right and wrong and the things that he should do and he shouldn't do. I've wasted all this energy and I have wasted all this stuff and even time and money and therapy and taking him back and forth to mental hospitals and bringing him home and putting him back in mental hospitals and bringing him home. And any child that would rather be on the 6th floor of the mental hospital than be at home trying to function in a normal life, there's something wrong there. Oh, I see. So, you know, I've been through all this. I've had him on the MHMR beds. I've had him on all that. Well, the medicine didn't do nothing but turning him into a damn stark raving lunatic. Stark raving lunatic is what I got when they medicated my child. Okay, so him and his brother got together and decided in the very beginning, before I even really moved in here with Deuce, and I think they discussed it the week I was up here with Deuce, to come up here and just damn do everything they could to just make life miserable. And Deuce had so much high hopes for them. He wanted to go out and let them ride bikes and just all kinds of things. But if I can't trust you to walk out the driveway or drive out the driveway on your bike and scared that you're going to be at Walmart trying to steal, what good is it for me to try to let you out the house? And then you're going to get mad at us because you ain't got no freedom. It's your fault you ain't got no freedom. It's not ours, it's yours. It's not our fault you can't ride your bicycle. It's your own fault. Good morning, Slim. Um, and so you just get to a point where you do have, I believe that you have kids, and we all know this because through the history of time, we have people that have never been able to function in society. We have had people that were not right from the day they were born, and if nobody knew better than that, their parents did. But there were, and if you'll sit down and listen to people who have raised people like that, serial killers and rapists and shit like that, if you'll sit back and listen to the stories, their stories are pretty well mimicking mine. When you know your whole life that there's something not quite right, when you know that in your heart of hearts and in your gut, if you have to sit back and just really be honest with yourself, you'll sit there and think to yourself, well, there's something not quite right here. And I don't know what, because I kept telling the people at the MHMR, I said, are you telling me that you can't test him to see if he's got like an imbalance, or like if he's missing something vital that his body is supposed to have that is keeping him from being able to function and be able to like be a positive influence on society instead of it being negative? I was like, you can't tell me if there's a test that you can run that can tell us that if there is, what is it that's lacking. Instead, what you want to do is you want to put them on damn medicine, because if you put them on medicine, then automatically Big Pharma starts making mega bucks. We're going to put them on medicine, and when we put them on the medicine, we're going to see exactly how many pills we can give him, and we're going to see just how many of them can counteract one another. And I'm going to tell you, the ADHD medicines are made to be a de-stimulant to kids that are hyperactive. But if you give the same drug to someone who isn't, then it will wire your ass up. So it can do one of two ways. But either way, methamphetamines is addictive, and that's what they're feeding them. Well, they won't do that either, Nina. I'm moving you guys so I can get in the shade. I'm getting my chair set up. I moved to the shade, y'all, so hold tight. I'm still right here. I just got to put my chair back together. It's one of these little fold out doodly deals, and like your camping chairs. But one of my rails has lost a screw at the bottom. So every time you get up out of the chair kind of collapses on itself because there's no screw to hold it. And so when you get up, you always have to fix that rod. You just have to poke it back down in there. And it likes to come out. All right. It says, no, I'm not I'm just done with the medicine altogether. Let me see what Charlene said. Charlene said, when her youngest was diagnosed with ADHD, instead of giving her the pills they wanted us to give, we gave her a cup of coffee or a Mountain Dew in the morning, and that worked. Believe it or not, it does, because it counteracts it. Just like if Chris went behind me, which he's done so many times, he's went behind me and got like my Monsters and stuff out of the refrigerator. I mean, you guys don't realize how bad it has gotten, but to a point that we cannot have a soda in the house. We cannot have my Monsters in the house. I'm surprised they didn't ever try to get into Deuce's beer, but to my knowledge, they never did. But I do know that they attacked our stash, and they've attacked our money, and just the list is long and distinguished. Good morning, Red Cactus. Hold on. My stepbrother has been in that situation for years. They don't care what medication they give him. They give one that almost killed him. Right. I mean, and then you got two medications and one counteracts the other one. But they took the medication that Big Pharma put Chris on, took his aggression and magnified it like 1,000. That's all the medicine was good for. They came in, they took it, it magnified the symptoms, and the next thing you know, you got a little serial killer in the making. I mean, that's just the way it is. And then see, that's what I'm trying to get people to understand about Big Pharma in general. Big Pharma is not going to make money if you are well. If you are well, Big Pharma is not going to make money. So Big Pharma, just like insurance, just like taxes, just like everything that we do and deal with, everything that we live with in our society is designed to take a little more money out of our pocket and weaken the household and weaken the family. Every single payment that we make is shit that we probably shouldn't even be paying for. And there's countries in this world where insurance is free. You don't have to pay for a lot of shit that we pay for. But what they have done is they have constricted and restricted the American people so bad. We are so much in bondage, and we don't even realize that we're there. And that's what's so sad about it. And now if they can keep these kids up in the matrix at all times of the day, and even their parents, how many of us is absolutely dependent on our cell phone as an adult? How many of you, me, because I live stream, Red live streams, we got to have a phone for that, and I'm just being real. Carrie, he live streams, he needs a cell phone. That's 3. And we've gotten so stupid that we don't know no numbers unless we damn pull it up in contacts. If our phone gets lost, we don't know how to call nobody. So it's just kind of like we keep them at our hip. The baby's little, starts fussing. You're trying to do something, so you hand her the cell phone to let her play with the lights and shit. And you just set into a trend of an addicted cell phone child. So, I mean, a lot of it is us, and a lot of it is because these new kids coming out having kids, or that's how they're brought up. They were raised in the tech world, and they think it's the only way to go. And when I saw an ad way back when the vaccine and all this stuff was going around, and they were trying to get people to like get in the like be in the grid and get themselves registered so they could be tracked, and you wanted to go to the cloud, and you wanted to hang out in the cloud and be able to talk to your friends and all this bullshit. And these kids were lining up excited, ready to just put themselves into that circumstance, not realizing that they're living completely out of their normal reality. And that's what the government wants. They want your view of the world to be distorted. They want your view of other people to be distorted. They want your view of yourself and your how you fit into the world also to be distorted. So they want you to think that there's no one else like you. And they want you to think there is still no people who love their country and their constitution and their freedoms and yada, 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 yada. And then they try to convince you that, hey, it's a race war, and the race war is what's keeping us from being able to accomplish anything. Or then you've got a situation where it's right against left. And they're both sides. Both sides are working for the same shit, so they're both lying. And they it doesn't matter how much they covered up. When it's all down to it, if we have Republicans in office, they sit on their ass and they let everybody make bad decisions. And when the Democrats are in rule, they sit back and they don't fight for the bad decisions. So any way you want to slice it, both sides of the fence is complacent. Good morning, Lee Bart. We are allowing this to happen. And if you stand up for your kids and say, hey, you're not putting no more jabs in my kids, you're not sticking them no more, I don't give a damn what you want to do, but you're not going to do it. And if you get a no vax order on your kids, then everybody looks at you like you're stupid. You know, period. They want to act like, well, why would you not allow your kids to be vaccinated? Because it's a choice I made. And when they get 18 and they have their own kids someday, if they want to jab their kids, that's up to them. But I'm going to do everything I can to make sure it don't happen. That doesn't mean, hey, Party Bonza, that does not mean that that I'm not going to love my kids or my grandkids. But I've managed to keep my household and Deuce. We have all kept being purebloods, and hopefully it'll stay that way. But slowly but surely, the school is getting to where they can do whatever the hell they want to your kids, and you ain't got no damn rights at all. And if you don't believe that, look at the damn school board situation and the council meetings and all the stuff that's determining what your children does at school and da 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 da. I'm telling you, we've been overtaken. It's already done, and we can fix it, but we're gonna have to do it the right way. I'm sorry your race card has been declined. Do you have another form of argument? That's funny as hell. That's a t-shirt. A t-shirt or a sticker for your car or whatever. I thought the coolest thing they ever done when Biden took the presidency is they made that little sticker that said Biden did it. Biden did it, and you can walk around putting it all over the high prices wherever it was at. I think that is the coolest thing. And on the gas pumps, you couldn't do it because the actual distributor was getting in trouble. The people who brought in, the people who was bringing in the gas, whether it was Shell or whatever, it's all the same people anyway. But I'm just saying, regardless of the chain and who was delivering it, it's really, really a negative thing and considered against the law against the vendor of that gas in that store. Okay. So you can't walk around. I know I got to have some. I got to order some. We need to start a group chat thing with them. Like we need to do a live or everybody upload videos or you can send me your videos or whatever y'all want to do. We each need to order a big old stack of them damn things and put them every damn where. And just enjoy doing it. It will give us some good content. Yep, we had them. A lot of people had them, but when the gas station attendants would be working, by law, they had to remove them. And I know this for a fact. But I think everybody in chat should order about 100 of them damn stickers. And I want everybody to share the most interesting place you stuck them at. I mean, seriously. And I think that if we did it enough and we could get enough people doing it, or maybe if it was just us, it's still funny as hell. Who cares? So, yes, I'm going to get back on my pot, y'all. Listen, I just kind of want to update y'all, just a short update. I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want to get upset. I'm having a really good morning. I want to leave it that way. I spent more time talking to Deuce yesterday than I have. As a matter of fact, as the auction was finishing up, I declined and went out to sit down and talk to him for a second and put them at Home Depot because lumber has gone up tremendously to include sole and everything else. And at the grocery stores, put them on canned goods. Yep, let's do it. We can do it. Everybody order them, a stack of them. I'll see if I can find out where we can get them. We got plenty of snoopers in chat that can find them, I'm sure. But so I had to give Deuce a couple of days to cool off a little bit and get his mind right. And not be so damn emotional. But now I'm gonna tell you, our house is being run like a compound right now. Y'all don't get it. Someone's on guard 24/7. Cigarettes, I had them. I've lost something I'm looking for, y'all. I've misplaced something the whole time. This is recording this stupid. Oh, the years for what? Well, I guess I'm fucking crazy. Wait a minute. 1 second. Yep, that's where they are. Man, I can't remember shit. I can't remember nothing. We can look online too. We can find them. They have them. Probably Amazon, maybe. Amazon would be a good place to start. And you know something else? My sister had a problem with one of her boys skipping school, so she ended up taking him to school and sitting in classroom with him for over 2 weeks until he stopped. I ain't got time for that shit. I'm too busy dealing with other fires they're setting. I mean fires figuratively, but I'm just saying that. I mean, I'm not gonna sit in the school in the classroom with this kid. I'm just not. That's what his teachers get paid for. And I'm just at the point now where I don't even understand why we're paying teachers salaries because they don't teach no more. They let the computer do it. And so, you know, if I was running the government and I was the president, I would be cutting some salaries. I'd be like, all teachers are losing their pensions and they're losing their damn salary, and you're going to go down and you're going to live on $7.25 an hour. And if you want to do nothing but sit on your ass while you're in school and you want to use computers to teach the kids, you'll remain at 7.25 an hour. If you want to actually get up off your ass and do something productive and teach the kids how to do stuff and and help them learn, then hey, we'll give you a raise. But it's just unreal how bad it's gotten, and the politicians too. You ain't doing nothing positive. All you doing is hurting your state. You're lying to your people. You can live on $7.25 too, and let's see how you like that. We'll give you about $100 in food stamps, so that you can try to see what it's like to have to use 100 stamps to feed a family of 5. Yeah. See, when I was some of the tactics I had, Deuce wasn't comfortable with because I wanted when they stole the money or Aiden got caught stealing at Walmart. It is, and people just don't get that. We're not talking about. Me and Nina should do a panel together one day, but we're not talking about average behavior. When you have a child that cannot control his emotions, or better yet, empathy is what gives you the ability to hurt someone and then feel bad about it, you know, or whatever. But it help. It's like a necessary emotion that you have to help you like deal with shit. And if you don't have that, then you don't have the capability to give a shit whether you're right or wrong or not. And there are different levels of mental health. So when you've got a child mental health, and me and Nina have talked about this a lot, you know, a lot. That type of kid takes your life every day. They take it away from you because they can't function at school. They can't function in daycare. They can't function anywhere. You can't work because you're too busy going to the school every damn day because they're trying to run away. And they have put him in a special C's classroom where he could be restrained if needed. He is already riding a disability bus because he cannot coexist with other kids. He is a square peg in a round hole. He got in trouble 4 times this year for telling his teacher he would kill her. They suspended him 5 or 6 times because he threatened other students to kill the students and the teachers. So you can't sit here and tell me that that's normal. And then they want to walk around here and know what they did to me and Deuce and just grin about it. They think it's funny. So yeah, we're fixing to have World War III up in here. And that shit ain't gonna fly. Good morning, Jamie Crow. I mean, you just got to think about it. Just think about, most kids can be redirected. Most children born now can be redirected. There are those that cannot be, and I have one of them. Jamie, you need to go back and look at the very beginning of the live. I'm talking about the very beginning when Nina and I were the only two in here. Look at it for about 2 minutes and then come back to the regular chat. But yeah, you know, I I told y'all, I mentioned this several times, but if you've ever watched an interview of the parents of a serial killer or someone who did really bad things and spent their whole life in jail, you will see the life that I lead. The same comments, you'll, if you listen to it, I can find correlations in every single statement they make. And so when you have that kind of situation, good morning, Yvette. When you have that situation with one of your own, and you know that from the very beginning something's not right, and see, most parents and a lot of parents would have given up. They would have turned them back over to the state. They would have done everything they could to just like walk away, because that constant stress and stigma of having a behavioral type child to that extreme, people will never understand how lonely that existence is and how alone you feel. A friend of mine told me one time that she would go to a game and sit on the bleachers, and that the other mothers would shun away from her and move because she's the mom of the bad kid. Okay, well, if people are going to stereotype someone to that nature and blame the parent basically for the child and the way things are going, and I guess the essence of this is it's not always the parents. Now, there are, in most cases it is, but it's not always the parents. Sometimes you just have a situation where one of the kids is not right. Yeah, and see, that's what doesn't make no sense to me. Nina, you and I were talking about that. You and I were talking about the fact that they will not step in until it's too late. Literally, they will not step in to fix the situation or to try to diagnose them or whatever it is they feel like they need to do, or drug them up on medicine, but they will not stand up and try to stop it until they've already went too far and the family's already being affected by what's happened. Um, so yeah, they, until it's too late, they don't get involved until it's just too late. And then they want to sit back and call the parents who's trying to deal with this shit to the best of their ability, basically living a very recluse lifestyle, because that's what I had to do. There was times when I had to pick between taking my own medicine or paying a bill and freaking feeding the kids. And when you have to live like that and you have to make those type of choices, then you're going to get behind on bills just to make sure your kids can eat. And if they are tearing up your house and you've got to fix everything so you don't lose your security deposit, then you're spending more money than the security deposit's worth. I mean, this is just skimming the surface of the shit. I mean, when Christopher was 5 years old, he set fire to my house and I lost everything. And when I mean everything, I mean I lost everything. And I was laying in bed and I was asleep. It was the middle of the damn night. And my son come into the bedroom and he told me, he said, Mom, he said, I was trying to roast marshmallows in my room. He said, but I think I got a problem. So I get up and I go in there to look. And not only does he have a problem, but his chair, and Chris has always been a rocker, so he'll sit in a real heavy chair and rock back and forth. He had a chair specifically that did that in. And so he had said when I walk into the bedroom, the entire chair is engulfed in flames. I'm talking about it's out of control. It's an old cloth chair that had been around for many moons, and it was probably half dry rotted as it was because it was so old. And I mean, literally, I walk in his bedroom, and his entire bedroom has got this massive structure in the middle of the floor that is on fire, engulfed in fire. And I have to sit here and get all the kids out, and and I didn't even think about the neighbors. I'm just trying to get my kids out the house. And then come to find out, the fire was intentionally set. I lost $700, $800, $900 worth of fresh Christmas that had just gotten opened. I had Christmas gifts and Christmas food and all these other stuff and decorations, and the damn tree was still up and the whole 9 yards. We lost everything in one swoop. So then he turned around the following day when we had nowhere to go and ended up having to go to my sister's, my adoptive sister's for a while. And she opened up her home to us so we would have a safe place to lay down for a couple days to get oriented. And I'd be damned if he didn't try to set her damn bookcase on fire. So, I mean, needless to say, I have struggled being a parent my entire life, and they judge me harshly because I have a hard time maintaining being a single mom with two boys. And then these two boys fight constantly. That's all they do. And I mean, I got one walking around hiding butcher knives under his damn bed, waiting on the other one to come in the room so he can shag him with it. I mean, it's just absolutely insane how bad this has gotten. And at this point, I've gotten to a point where I'm about to lose the man I love. I have already lost the privilege of being in our home. And these kids did it on purpose. They did it on purpose. They did this on purpose. There's nobody that can tell me what to do. My decision is made. There's going to be a lot of people who don't agree with my decision. I'm sorry. Until you come and live and you walk a mile in my shoes, don't judge me. Because I'm at that point where I just can't take no more. I've lost too much. This was my final straw. You don't take the one good thing I've ever had and make me lose it. No, the boy's father is just like Chris. That's where he gets it from. He's been in and out of prison his whole life. He was a wife beater when I was with him. He come up behind me in our duplex and pushed me down 17 stairs, 6 months pregnant with Aiden. He went to prison for child endangerment in the first degree because Aiden, he put his hands on Aiden. And he put bruises like so bad on his face. He was only 3.5 months old. He just went in there and got him. Good afternoon, Valerie. He just went in there and just literally did these things out of malice. My dad had a... Well, it's not even that I have to. It's just... And see, Jamie, what people aren't understanding is you don't understand. We can desire as parents to get these kids help all day long. The system will not help them. They wait until they've already screwed their life up and their parents' life up to intervene. I've been trying to give these boys help for years. They ignore the situation and throw a bunch of medicine at them and think it's going to fix it. It's not. It's not going to fix it. And they don't want to fix it. They want to tear me down. That's their main goal. To judge me and to call me names and to tell me I don't know what I'm doing and to tell me that I'm a bad mother. And if you name it, I've heard it. But if they don't understand what it's like to live in a world where you don't know, I know, right? Yep, they just let them have it. All of it. Yep. Just give it to them. That's why they're going to vote for Biden, because he landed all that stuff in their lap. That he made it possible for them to walk over the line, the immigration line. They were able to walk in this country, and they were given money, cell phones, a free ride. Yeah, I know. That's what everybody keeps saying. Y'all got to let me get it done. Because here's the problem, and it's not both, it's mainly one. Here's the problem. I've done that too. He's been on the 6th floor of Cook's Hospital here in Dallas so many times. 6th floor being the psych ward. I've done this many times. And what they do is they keep them for like a week and a half and they try them on some new medicine. And then they send them home when they're happy. I already know that. And they've been in MHMR, which is mental health and mental retardation, their whole life. They have been raised in counseling. They have been taught from a very early age how to have all these coping things. That's why I'm telling you, this is all I know. It's too late for the mental hospital for Chris. To him, it's a game. He wants to sit on the top floor of Cook's and sit there and eat corn dogs all day. He don't have mama to tell him what to do. He's got internet access. If he wants Legos, the nurse calls and makes a phone call, and they bring in brand new ones. No, it's not even a break. It's not even a break. I've got to do what I got to do at this point with Chris. I mean, I've got to do what's best for him and what's best for me. And because if I keep letting him, they're just going to keep wrecking my life, and I'm not going to be able to have anything. I'm not going to be able to go anywhere. I'm not going to be able to move up in anything. And that's why at the ripe age of 50, I've never owned anything. Because for the last 20 years, I was with their dad trying to get away from a domestic violence situation. And then when I finally did, then I had to raise a mentally ill child that had the characteristics of his dad. So I'm just telling you, not all kids are the same and not all parents are the same. So if you guys ever see a situation that you may deem as not being quite right, man, before you judge, really pay attention. Give it a couple of days, because there might be a reason why they're going through what they're going through. You know, everybody assumes that the parent just don't know what the hell they're doing. Do I come off to y'all as a parent who don't know what the hell I'm doing? I've spent a lot of time being depressed. I've spent a lot of time crying my eyeballs out. I've tried to explain to people that, and me and Deuce right now are proving that point. My kids are 13 and 12, and they act like toddlers in the aspect that you cannot not take your eyes off of them, period. Period. Yes, I know exactly what's going on. The system has failed them. CPS come in, they didn't like something they saw one time. They took the kids for 9 months. They brought them back physically and sexually abused. But then they want to call me a bad parent. This happened in their care, not mine. It happened in their care when they had custody of my kids. They allowed them to be raped every day and beat on every day. So I'm not a bad parent. I'm a parent at the end of my line. I'm a parent that has reached, I have been hanging on by the last knot in a rope for a long time. And I've had all the neurological test stuff ordered. I've done all that. Everything's been tested. They mapped Chris's brain. They said there wasn't nothing wrong with it. You know, just in general, I'm just letting you know that these boys right now have got Deuce so upset that he doesn't want any of us here. He cannot take the strain of what we've had to live through the last 9 months. I want to see them do that. Lee Bart, I want to see them do that, and I want them to do it live. No, no. I'm not going to fight anymore for kids that are purposely trying to take me down. Okay? They did this methodically. They did this intentionally. They did this with malice. And then sat back and laughed about it. So I have now reached a point where I think I've gone as far with my oldest one as I can. There is not a higher and bigger disrespectful child. There is not a ruder child. He is destructive. He is manipulative. He is freaking mean. He is hateful. And he has no remorse. Yeah, they have a grudge against me because I'm with a man that has changed the dynamic of the household. And now they're jealous. And they don't want me to be happy. They want it to just be me and them so they can try to run me into the ground like they always have. And I'm going to stand up for myself. Because if I don't stand up for myself, these kids are going to make me have a heart attack. So it's either I'm going to have to do something to get to where I can have what I call a quality of life, because I too deserve that. It's not all about the kids all the time. If the parent's not happy, the kids are not going to be happy. You know, that's what it all comes down to. And I'm no longer giving them my best because they have severed our relationship. Y'all don't get it. When they came in and made sure that I lost Deuce, that's a big issue. I'm not choosing a man over the kids. I have zero tolerance for them. If it was a natural selection of just bumps and bruises of two families coming together and melding together, that would be one thing. But this is a deliberate attack that was set up before I ever got here. We were en route to Georgia, from Georgia to here. We were making the plans to come and be with Deuce, and they were fomenting this plan already. See, here's the problem with that. Military boot camp usually costs money. And because of the way I've had to live until Deuce, we haven't had it. There's no way I can afford to put them in a school like that right now. So I'm going to have to go with something traditional that Department of Health and Human Services will back, because I don't have a choice. So whatever way that we have to do this whatever way that I have to do this to make it work. Yeah, because see, what people don't realize is when you got a kid like this and he goes to school every day and you go to work every day trying to make money to support the household, you get calls at work going, he's trying to run away from school. This is every day. So then you put him in the Boys and Girls Club to try to get somewhere where you can actually work and support your kids. And then you're getting calls that he got kicked out and tore up the administrator's office. And he's hitting kids up there. So then you bring him home because he can't stay nowhere else. And then when he can't no longer function in school and he's suspended or he's having trouble, which was every single fucking day, and you're leaving work every single day to go deal with the issue at the school, then your boss comes to you and goes, you're not at work more than you're at home. You're away from work more than you're here. And I understand your predicament, but there's nothing we can do. We've got to have somebody in this company who will work. And then, bam, you lose your job. This happened to me 7, 8 times. But they wondered why I struggled with my kids and why it was like I had to pinch every friggin' penny. That's why. Because when you can't have a normal damn life, when life is never normal, then or even close to normal, so that you can adequately care for the kids in a normal capacity, there's no option for you other than to just keep suffering. And I have suffered for 12, 13 years now, and I'm done with it. Nina says, Valerie, I sent my son to juvenile boot camp. He was fine until he got home. Went back to school, got around same group of kids, went back to his old ways. Because if you want to, if a tiger wants to change its stripes, you've got to change your environment. Meaning you have to make the decision within yourself that you're going to clean up the people that you're around. An addict fresh out of rehab that really wants to be well is not going to go hang around a bunch of friends that do drugs in their face. And that's how raising kids like mine and Nina's are. They are not normal everyday children. They are just not. And people refuse to accept the fact that you can have toxic kids. And when a child becomes toxic, he is toxic to the household. He affects your finances. He affects your ability to do anything. So, I mean, yeah, and that's why I struggle like I do, and why I don't have the things that most people have accumulated in life, because for everything that I've gained, I mean, I brought my kids home from CPS after all the abuse and after everything and finally got them back. I had a house full of brand new furniture because I finally was able to work with them gone. So I got some money saved up and got an apartment, did all this on my own. I held 2 jobs while I was doing it. And I lost both jobs within 2.5 weeks of both of my kids coming home because I couldn't stay at work for dealing with their crap. CPS come and they dropped them kids off on my porch, knowing they had been molested, knowing they had been abused, knowing they had been raped. They done all this. They let this happen to them in CPS custody. They brought them home to me and left them on my porch and gave me no resources or no help or nothing. These 2 boys took a house full of brand new furniture, beds, bunk beds, wood, dressers, TVs, anything you can think of to try to make life better for them. They destroyed it in a month. They had no bed to sleep on. They had to sleep on the floor. Their dresser was trash. They couldn't even put clothes in it. And literally everything that they touched, they broke. Exactly. My youngest son got into drugs, went to rehab twice, and is doing great. He has 2 kids that saved his life. And sometimes it takes that, because I had to ask myself recently, I had to sit down and I had to ask myself this hard question. Are we all about being productive, or are we all about being counterproductive? And the parents to any child have got to have the ability to live a good life. And you're going to have struggles, but you should be able to have a good, decent life, even with kids. And when your children take that ability from you, then you have a problem. And I refuse to let it affect me anymore. Okay? I'm just not going to do it. I am not going to play their games. Chris has pushed me entirely too far this time. He's not only affected me, but he's also affected another person that I love very much. And he has totally wrecked our whole life. And he did it with intention. told the CPS worker when he got Deuce in trouble a little bit, it wasn't no big deal. Deuce was trying to stop him from running from him, and he was wearing a vest, and he came out of the vest, and it looked like they were fighting. And Deuce grabbed a hold of him, and when he grabbed a hold of him, he tried to get out. So, of course, it looked like they were sprawling out and fussing. CPS came to my house to investigate the situation. She took pictures and looked at his neck and all this because they swore up and down that Deuce was trying to choke him and all this bullshit. And this is where I say, when you don't know what the hell you're looking at, stay out of it. Until you know what you're dealing with, stay the fuck out of it. Because what you are doing to the parents of that child, you will have no idea. Because their life just became chaotic. They are under a microscope. They got to jump through a bunch of hoops. The damn system wants them to do everything but donate their damn kidneys to them. I mean, you just have no idea. Unless you've ever been there, you do not know what it's like to deal with CPS. And unless you've had a CPS case and an investigation, you will never understand how much of your privacy is lost. How much of you gets baited and ridiculed, and they call you names and they take you to court and they accuse you of all these bad stuff. Yeah, I've been there, done that multiple times. Multiple times. And it's just not worth it no more to me. I'm just at the point where I'm 50 years old and they have just, I mean, my life has just been horribly bad. And it's been rough since they've been born. And I'm refusing. Deuce is my first chance of being happy, y'all, in a very long time. He was the first man that I've trusted in a very long time to be a part of my life because of my boys. I always knew what I was dealing with. You can't get the professionals to listen to you, nor do they care. So I always knew what I was dealing with. And I told him in the very beginning, I said, I'm scared to do this because I'm scared you're not going to be able to handle it. Well, they finally broke us up. They finally have broken us apart. Now, me and Deuce are talking, and we're going to do our best to find our way back to each other. We both got a lot of work to do. We were not anticipating this, you know? We were not anticipating it being, I figured the boys would be a little like moody and temperamental with Deuce being in the picture, but I never expected the downright attack that we've been living in, just period. It's been absolutely unreal. And if you don't believe me, you can ask Nina or anybody who has a phone conversation with me instead of just chat. They can tell you I have been in so much pain the last couple of days, y'all. It makes no sense. And it is a very hard decision to make. And I'm trying to get to a point where I can get my head cleared just a little bit to make the decision. But I pretty much think I know what I'm going to do. I'm pretty much set that this is the way it's going to be. When the child's own grandfather doesn't trust that child to be in his house, there's a problem. And my dad's old school. Not much. Not a lot. Not a lot, Tracy. Not a lot. Yep, you would think they would be happy and that they would appreciate what we have tried to set up for them. But they have deliberately destroyed the house, deliberately destroyed Deuce's things, and they have deliberately attacked us on every avenue that they could attack us. And if it wasn't for the fact that and I had to sit Deuce down and just remind him, I said, let's set all the bullshit aside with the kids. Let's set all the bullshit aside with the kids and let's talk about me and you for a second. Because as far as you and I are concerned, the whole dynamic of this is completely different. And we've both been here for each other. We've slipped in places. Both of us have, just because of the stress and the tension. But it's just like I looked at Deuce and I said, I love you and I don't want this to be the way it ends. And so we have mutually decided that we have got to get some things done. And we've got to get to a point where I'm not so restricted to where I can actually work and help provide. And also Deuce can too. And so the two of us together can have something, but I've got to get a couple things taken care of. So that's one of the main reasons I want to return home right now. That and to get Chris taken care of. I know. Hadn't had a lot of sleep, and Deuce is sleeping even less than me. So, I mean, we're the things have gotten so bad in the house, and the danger level is so bad that these kids are under constant surveillance. They're constantly being watched. One of us is always up with literal eyes on them, sitting in the room with them, watching what they're doing. Because we've just gotten to the point that we can't trust Chris around his brother. We can't trust Chris not to not hurt his brother. We can't trust him, the two of them, not to go in and take all of Deuce's cash and try to go sneak out the house and go to Walmart. They've been through all that, U-Haul. Therapy, mentors, you name it, every single program that they could qualify for that could help them that was therapeutic, I signed them up for. We went through a 2-year extensive therapy program where they were in home. They came in and they saw them daily, and they had all these therapists that took them out and done stuff with them. And I'm talking about, when I tell you that our privacy was completely invaded, and I had 2 boys in the same program, so you have to times that times 2, where you got an average of 7 to 8 visits a week, all of them different from different people. And this went on for 2 years. Meetings every time you turn around. You happen to take them in to go to the doctor so they can stick them on their psychomeds. Just, oh yes, oh my God, I can't do it no more. I've tried Boy Scouts. I've tried mentoring. I've tried everything. I tried karate. I've tried everything. And the thing about it is, I said U-Haul, that's not U-Haul, that's Uno. I'm sorry and apologize to you for that. I wasn't reading. I'm not quite my normal self. So just to give y'all an idea, if not for me taking care of my mother, I would send one of them at a time my way and can return them a different child in 3 weeks. And if you were actually able to accomplish it, it would shock me. But I wouldn't wish what you would have to put up with, Charlene, on anything. See, I've taught them that. Everywhere they go, they get complimented on their manners, because I instilled that to them at a very young age. And they can do it with everybody else but me and Deuce. As a matter of fact, it didn't seem to matter what me and Deuce asked them not to do. If we asked them not to do something, they were pretty damn well set that gave them the reason to do it. So, I just want to share with y'all a little bit. And I'm going to tell you, this was the final straw for me, because when I met Deuce, my intention still is that we would be side by side when I take my last breath or he does his. This is my one thing. He is my everything. And they have totally destroyed everything that we had. And that is an unforgivable offense to me. It's unforgivable because they did it not because they were having coping problems, or not because they Not because they were acting out, but because they deliberately wanted us not to be. Yep, that's the part they're having the problem with. They don't respect me at all. Chris thinks if I get on to him, that I'm guilty of the same thing because I get on to him. Chris thinks it's my job to walk around this house each and every day cleaning up after his nasty ass because he's too lazy to pick up anything. He thinks because I'm the head of the household woman-wise, that that's my job and that that's exactly what I'm just supposed to do, is walk around the house and clean up after Chris all day. And instead of cleaning up his own mess when he spills it, that's my job. So there's your lack of disrespect right there. I'm inferior to him. In other words, I'm like his slave. That's what he sees me as. And with all of the move and everything and the incident that was the straw that broke the camel's back, with everything going on and us having to go back to Georgia for a while, because now that Deuce and I have kind of civilly come to an agreement, in the middle of all the hurt we're dealing with, we have agreed that we don't want to lose each other, but we got a lot to do to get back to each other. So with that being said, he's going to work on him for a little while. I'm going to work on me, and I'm going to deal with the boys. And maybe when we all come back together, we can actually do something like it's supposed to be done. So, there's a lot of things I could forgive my kids for. And I've heard cases of where people have had to separate because of the children, because there was conflict and there was too much conflict and they never would. Children can outwardly make or break a relationship. And one of the things that I reminded Deuce of is that, when I saw all of this really starting and it came out through the CPS case with Deuce, that Christopher was absolutely beyond the shadow of a doubt doing this intentionally. And that's how I found out that it was a vendetta and that it was a mastermind plan. And from that point on, my relationship with him changed. Bye, Charlene. I love you. Okay, she said, my husband worked with mentally challenged teenagers. When the kids turned 18, they had to leave the facility they lived at. The ones with no families were put out on the street. And when my child reaches the age of 18, they've both been warned their entire life. I'm hoping Chris won't be here because honestly, Chris has affected my mental stability and my quality of life at this point. He's always affected those two things, and he's always tried to take those two things from me. And after 14 years of trying to live a life and just have a life, and it just doesn't seem to work, and he just keeps digging and digging and digging at me. And then I came up here to be happy with Deuce and build something with him so that we could have something. And then they destroyed it, and he did it, and he thinks it's funny. So yeah, I'm pretty much done. I'm pretty much done. Pretty much done. And I think that's the best thing. Chris got brought to my house one time by two cops because he was running away from the school bus or school or some bullshit. I don't remember. But the cops brought him home. And when they got him to the house, they asked him, they said, the cops asked me about an incident that had happened or something. And I turned around and I looked at the police, and then the police looked at me and said, he just wants to be free. He don't want to have nobody telling him what to do. So I'm fixing to give it to him. I'm fixing to make sure he gets it. I'm going to sit here and smoke this cigarette with y'all, and then I'm going to go over to the garden, and I'm going to work with my cucumbers for a minute, but we can stay live. I'll let you guys watch me. I'm still cross-pollinating them. I'm not even going to be here to eat my own damn cucumbers. But Deuce and the neighbor are going to take care of my stuff. And my plants, all that. Deuce is even going to let me leave the cat. So I don't have to worry with trying to transport her, because I told him, I said, I'm coming home. I said, I want to come home. This is not fair. I want to go home. So if I leave my shit here, I'll have to come back to get it. Some of it anyway. So that's where we're at, you guys. I really need a lot of prayer right now. Deuce needs a lot of prayer. We have agreed to talk to each other when we're gone, so maybe it's not going to be so painful. I want to try to get through this and get it done and come home. And I want to try to make sure I feed our relationship from a distance as much as I can. I want to be able to come and see him once in a while, because it's going to be real hard to walk away from him. I told him the other day, and I think I've mentioned this to y'all before, it's hard to walk away from you when I love you when I'm walking away. And he said, it's hard to let you walk away when I love you when you're walking out. I can't begin to tell you how much y'all are going to be needed. The next couple months, I'm going to have y'all. I'm going to have to do the pots and stuff. I've got to do everything I can to stay busy. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to work my ass off to make money any way I can, besides the street corner, which is not going to do me no good. I'm too old and ugly to even try that. I'm just saying, I'm fixing to pull some money together, because I want to take a 6-month time frame to maybe 8 months. So I really don't want to get no permanent place to stay. I'd rather live in my dad's storage building after we get it fixed up than to get an apartment, because I don't want to be tied down to a lease. But I got to get my shit together. I got to take care of some past shit that's a barrier with me and Deuce. And I'm just at that point where I'm at the end of my rope. And so is he. And I just want to keep us to a point. I want to keep he and I to a point where it may take him 2 days to even talk to me, because he's probably going to sleep after we leave because he's so tired. And but when I do get a chance to talk to him after the move, I'm going to keep telling him the same thing. I'm coming home. I want to come home. So somehow or another, I got to get all this stuff done. He's got to get all his stuff done, because I have a job right now. When I come back, if I can get my license and all fixed, because my mama did some really bad things. I don't want to get into it. Some of you already know. But let's just put it this way. I got obstacles. It's not like DUIs or nothing like that. It's all civil shit. And I had a wreck. I will tell you about the wreck. I had a 1993 Honda Accord that I had forever. I was the second owner. An old lady had the car, or an old man had the car in the beginning. And he had passed away, and the car was sitting there, so his wife sold it. And when she sold the car, she sold it to me. And I drove it for 8 more years. And one day I was in my small little town that I grew up in, and I was crossing the street to make a left-hand turn, and my car stalled right there in the incoming lane. And I got T-boned by a guy that decided to rob a store and evade the police, and he hit me T-boned wide open to try to get away from the cops. Problem was, because of the problems with money and stuff I've had, my insurance payment was late. So his insurance company came after me, and they took a citation against my license. And then my mom and child support put another one, so I've got 2 things blocking it. And I've got to go down there and get that straight so that I can actually work. When I come back here, I can take a $25 an hour job with my driver's license and be able to go to work. And then Deuce, part-time, full-time, whatever, we both need to work. That way we can get out of the hole that we're in and actually have a life. But we haven't been able to do nothing except concentrate on the hell we've been living in. And the more time that passed and the more they beat Deuce up, the more depressed he got. The more depressed he got, and the more I couldn't reach him. And then eventually we just about stopped talking altogether. Because we were so tired, just so tired. He would go his way to deal with the kids, and I'd go my way to deal with the kids. And this last incident that we had here, that again, I'm not going to talk about, but this last incident we had here was just the end of the ordeal for me. I hope so. I mean, it's when 2 people have to separate because the kids either sabotage the relationship or maybe blending 2 sets of kids together isn't working, or whatever, whatever the reasoning is. But it has nothing to do with the 2 people. It has to do with the dynamics of the house and just the fact that there's a lot of change and things of that nature. And most of the time, those people can revisit the situation and get it fixed. However, me personally, I'm going to have to make changes to my overall life in order to get back where I want to be. And if there's ever been a person in my life that's worth fighting for, he's it. So I just got to figure out how to get it all done, y'all. And it's going to take some time. And then in the middle of all this, my dad and my mom are sick, y'all. My dad called me this morning, or I called him, and he said he was getting up to go to the emergency room, which he never does. And so something's most definitely wrong. I bet you he's got pneumonia. So I don't know what's going on there. I hadn't heard from him yet. And my stepmom was not going to go yet. But the condition that Dad's got is so bad right now. And that's what he was talking about. His chest and all is so heavy he can't breathe. And that's not good. We went through that in Texas like months ago. So, I mean, I had it, and it like to kill me. That's why I missed that live with Santa that day. It was right there in that time frame. The damn phlegm so thick, I was coughing it up in mouthfuls and just could not get rid of it. So everything that's going on There's a lot going on. I need everybody really to concentrate on praying for all of us concerned. Um, at least, at least it didn't get to a point where me and Deuce didn't have any way to find each other again. Thank God that we're doing this now instead of letting it get to a point where we lose each other completely. And it's fixing to put me. Now he's a man. They act like they don't handle. They act like nothing fucking bothers them. But me, I'm going to be to pieces. So, and I already know this because he's all I've known for 9 months. I got used to sleeping in the bed beside him every single night. He hasn't slept in the bed since the kids messed up because he's up every night watching them. And I'm not even going to be able to snuggle up with him or nothing before I leave because things are so bad. But at least this will give me a heads up on sleeping without him when I have to go. So all I can do is go on and keep keeping on. That's all I can do. And I just have to pray every day for God to make it where we can find our way home, that I can find my way back. And then it be okay. It's not that I can't come back or that Deuce said that I can't come back or that he's wavering on that. We have both agreed to try again. But the thing about it is you just don't know. I'm almost scared to come back in here and try again after everything because I don't want to hurt him no more. But it kills me to not be with him. So I don't know what the fuck to do. So I'm really going to need you guys. Like I said, I'm going to need the chat. Y'all are going to have to, my pots and stuff and my stepmom and my dad keeping me like sidetracked. And like I said, I have a plan in place to get it started. And Deuce looked at me and he said, I don't want no out of state girlfriend. He said, so let's get this done. The goal is to get it done and come home as quick as we can get it done. And so I think it's probably going to take at least 6 months because I've got to figure out interesting ways to make money as far as like cash gigs or whatever it's going to take, extra work, whatever. That's what I got to do. I want to get this stuff lifted so I can work up here. And because Deuce don't feel good a lot of times. His health hasn't been that great. And he's having a lot of problems with his stomach and stuff and just everything. But a lot of that might have been the stress we're under too. But I'm just saying that overall, his body and all, after all the work and construction, he's just getting to where he can't do it no more. And that his body severely hurts a lot all the time. And so there's going to be days when he's just going to get up and not be able to move. And when he can't move, he can't work because he can't move. And so I would rather keep him on something, honestly, that's part-time where he can kind of like have some days in between his work to let his body recoup. I don't want him headstrong into something full-time, but that's not to mean that he's not going to do something different because that's what he wants. I'm just trying to make it easier for him in the long run. I don't want to work him so bad that he walks around here and he's miserable and sick all the time, and hurting all the time. And so as long as my knee don't give me a problem, I can handle anything. So that's kind of where we're at. My emotions and my feelings and stuff are all over the place right now. The boys walking around here gloating like they are is not making it any better. And so I'm dealing with a lot of shit. Plus I'm fixing to have to go home and lose Deuce for a while. So I mean it's absolutely scary, y'all, to have to walk out of here to do some things and to have to take care of some things and separate to take care of some issues. But it's the scariest place in the damn world to be because you have to stand back and you go, damn, am I ever going to be able to get it back? I mean, you're scared. I'm scared out of my fucking mind to walk away, y'all. I'm scared out of my mind. Does anybody else understand that fear? I'm just curious. Do y'all understand where the fear is coming from? Do I have anybody in chat? It says I got 19. Where's everybody at? Yeah. Okay. There you are. So, I'm right now, we're taking it day by day, hour by hour. But Deuce and I have slid into a comfortable existence right now. Okay, Carrie, I'm fixing to end the live because I was supposed to wake the boys up at 10 o'clock. I'm running late. Yeah, I know. That doesn't make me feel better right now, but I know. I've believed it since the day I met him. I still feel the same way after everything we've been through and 9 months later. So yeah. And I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna fight. If anything's worth having, you have to fight for it, right? Oh, you're all right, baby. Carol, you're all right. You're fine. Just a leisurely chat. We've done real good on numbers the last couple mornings, so um I'm actually about ready to end it because I've got to go get the boys up. But I just wanted to come on here, go to the very beginning of the stream, Carol, and see how the stream started. It was cool. And me and Nina were the only two in here. And so, yeah. Y'all might have to redo the notification bell or something since I changed the channel name. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Check it. Check check the page and see if your notifications are still done. Because I've made a lot of changes to the stream. And we're going to continue to make some changes to the stream. But it sounds like to me that Uncle Deuce and I will be able to have like a comfortable existence. So that we will be talking and stuff. So I don't have to be as guarded about him being in chat as I thought. So I mean, when it all comes down to it, if everybody will just kind of keep us in your prayers, and we'll pray too. That and most of all, right now, I'm praying for direction, and y'all keep hanging on, and y'all pray for my dad because him being sick right now with me trying to get this move done is not good. I agree with that, Nina, and you understand the situation a little more than most. So I'm just saying, I'm going to speak it into existence because it means enough to me. And I'm pretty sure it means enough to do. So we just got to do what we got to do. And somehow or another, I'm going to have to find strength to do it. And you guys are going to be my constant companions. I'm going to take a friend's advice and I'm going to start making some stuff besides pots. My dad's got everything I need out there to make it with. So it's time for me to get some stencils. I need all the patriotic stencils y'all can find. If y'all can look and find any, and it's patriotic in nature, send it to me. If it's anything that I can use to decorate with and it's patriotic, send it to me. I did receive a box from Charlene, y'all. I've not been in the frame of mind to do a box live. But I opened it up and there was a couple of little trinkets in there, and there was some things I could use for the pots and stuff that's like subtle things like leather and there's so much stuff in that box. She put me something that me and Deuce can put on my cucumbers to help them climb. all kinds of things. Yep. And what's that old expression? Nothing worth having is not worth fighting for. So that's pretty much where we're at. I will not give up. I will not back down. I will not surrender. I will fight because this is the man I want to spend my life with. And nobody has the authority to take that from me. So there you go. All right, guys, I'm going to end this live. I'm going to open up the door and get the kids up. I got to make a phone call to the housing authority down in a small town to see if maybe they can, to see how high their turnover is, and find me a place to stay on a short-term lease. And so I've got to work on that. Worst case scenario, we can be crammed into a damn storage building, but I'm not sure I want to do that. But I'm not so bad. I'm not so sure that it's a bad thing. The solitude and being able to focus on just me and the pots and making other things, and me and my dad getting to working together for a little while and stuff like that, in order to get all this stuff done. And see, all the stuff that I make outside with dad too can be put on a marketplace to be sold as well. So I have plans, and I also want to work part-time and full-time or whatever it takes. So I've got a lot of stuff going through my mind at one time to try to get stuff together. Y'all just keep me in my prayers. I love y'all. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. And for all of you that have helped out with the auction and the PayPals and the Cash Apps that I haven't named, Jamie Crow's one. I'm so daggum tired. I don't know if I can remember everybody. But needless to say, you know who you are. And I know it's there. It's still sitting there. I'm waiting on us to get a definitive. I'm waiting on some paperwork, number one. So everybody just keep me prayed up. Keep Deuce prayed up. I'm tough. I can do this. Although most of the time I don't believe it. So y'all just keep me in your prayers. We'll be going live. I'll keep you posted on what's going on. If you don't hear anything, I'm still here. Okay? I love each and every one of you. Y'all have a good day. There's a lot of views in that podcast.